Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and welcome to Native Speakers, the channel where real English comes alive.
And I'm Johnny. We're here to show you that learning English doesn't have to be boring, difficult, or time-consuming.
That's right. Today we're revealing a secret that literally changed the game for thousands of our students.
So grab your lunch, sit back, and let's dive into the lunch break conversation method that will transform your English forever.
All right, Johnny, let's set the scene. It's Monday, 12:30 p.m. We're colleagues at an office, and we've just sat down in the break room with our lunches. Ready?
Absolutely. Hey, Sarah, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was pretty good. I finally finished that book I've been reading for like 3 months. You know how it is when life gets busy, right?
Oh, totally. I'm the same way with podcasts. I start them and then life happens. What book was it?
The Midnight Library. Have you heard of it?
I haven't, actually. What's it about?
Okay, so here's where I want to pause for our viewers. Notice something important here? We just had a completely natural conversation opener. Johnny asked about my weekend. This is the most common conversation starter in English-speaking countries, especially on Mondays.
Exactly. And look at the language we used. Sarah said pretty good instead of very good. That's authentic English. We don't always use textbook phrases. We use casual, real expressions.
Right. And I also used like as a filler word when I said for like 3 months. In conversational English, native speakers use fillers all the time. It makes speech flow naturally. Other common fillers are well, you know, and I mean.
Now, let's continue and break down more patterns. Sarah, about that book, why did it take you 3 months to finish?
Well, you know how it is. Between work, going to the gym, meeting up with friends, and trying to have some downtime, reading kind of falls to the bottom of the list. Plus, I'm easily distracted. I'll be reading and then I'll think, oh, I should check my emails. Or maybe I'll watch just one episode on Netflix. And before you know it, it's midnight and I haven't read a single page.
That's so relatable. I do the same thing with my Spanish lessons. I keep telling myself I'll practice every day, but then, yeah, Netflix wins.
Okay, pause again. Let's talk about what just happened. I used a really important phrase. You know how it is. This is what we call an empathy phrase. It creates a connection because you're acknowledging shared experiences. Other similar phrases are, I'm sure you understand, you've been there, or I bet you know what I mean.
And notice how Sarah listed activities using present continuous forms mixed with infinitives. Going to the gym, meeting up with friends, trying to have some downtime. This is an advanced English structure, but it sounds completely natural in conversation.
Also, look at the phrase falls to the bottom of the list. This is an idiom. It means something becomes the least important priority. Native speakers love idioms in casual conversation. They add color and personality to your speech.
Let me give you another common lunch break scenario. Sarah, did you bring lunch today or are you ordering something?
I brought leftovers from last night. We made this amazing pasta dish, creamy mushroom fettuccine. It's even better the next day. What about you?
I'm probably gonna grab something from that new sandwich place down the street. Have you tried it yet?
No, not yet. Is it any good?
It's fantastic. They make everything fresh, and the portions are huge. Plus, it's not too pricey, which is great because, let's be honest, my budget is pretty tight this month.
Stop right there. Let's analyze this exchange because it's gold for learners. First, Johnny used gonna instead of going to. In casual speech, we almost always use contractions and shortened forms. If you say, I am going to grab something, you'll sound overly formal and unnatural in a lunch break setting.
Exactly. And Sarah asked, is it any good? Not, is it good? The addition of any makes it more conversational and shows genuine interest. It's a subtle difference, but native speakers notice these things.
Also, notice how Johnny described the restaurant. He used 3 adjectives in sequence: fantastic, fresh, and huge. Then he added a qualifier about price. When you're recommending something in English, structure matters. You want to give specific details, not just say it's nice.
And that phrase I used, let's be honest, that's another connector phrase. It signals that you're about to say something truthful or a bit vulnerable. Other similar phrases are, to be fair, honestly speaking, or if I'm being real with you.
Now, let's level up the conversation. Johnny, I heard through the grapevine that you're thinking about switching departments. What's that all about?
Who told you that? Was it Mark? That guy can't keep a secret to save his life.
Haha, it might have been. But seriously, are you thinking about moving to the marketing team?
Well, I've been mulling it over. The thing is, I really enjoy what I do now, but the marketing position would be a step up, you know? Better pay, more responsibilities, and honestly, I think it would be a good challenge for me at this point in my career.
That makes total sense. When do you think you'll make a decision?
I'm hoping to figure it out by the end of the month. I'm meeting with the department head next week to discuss it, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, wow, there's so much to unpack here. First, I used the idiom through the grapevine, which means hearing gossip or information informally. Then Johnny responded with another amazing idiom, can't keep a secret to save his life. This is a hyperbolic expression, emphasizing how bad someone is at keeping secrets.
And look at the phrase, I've been mulling it over. Mull over means to think carefully about something over time. It's much more sophisticated than just saying, I've been thinking about it. These phrasal verbs are crucial for sounding like a native speaker.
Johnny also used at this point in my career, which shows time awareness and context. And notice he said, we'll see how that goes, instead of, I will see what happens. The conversational version is always more relaxed and uses we, even when talking about personal situations.
Here's another super common lunch break topic. Sarah, have you made any plans for the summer yet?
Actually, yes. I'm thinking about taking a trip to Portugal. I've always wanted to go, and I found some reasonable flights. The only problem is I need to use up all my vacation days before December. Otherwise, I'll lose them.
Oh, that's a bummer about the vacation days. But Portugal sounds amazing. Are you going solo or with friends?
Probably solo. I know that sounds a bit scary, but honestly, I've heard traveling alone is incredibly liberating. Plus, it forces you to interact with locals and other travelers, which could be a great way to practice my Portuguese.
That's such a good attitude. I've never traveled alone before. I think I'd be too nervous.
You should try it sometime. It's one of those things that seems intimidating at first, but once you do it, you realize it's not that big of a deal.
All right, let's break this down for our viewers. Notice how Sarah used actually yes to start her response. This combination signals that she has genuine information to share and creates a conversational bridge.
And I said, I've always wanted to go, which is the present perfect tense, showing a desire that started in the past and continues to the present. This is different from I always wanted to go, which would sound incomplete or incorrect.
Sarah also said that's a bummer, which is casual slang for that's disappointing or that's unfortunate. In lunch break conversations, using appropriate slang shows cultural fluency.
When Johnny asked if I was going solo, he used contemporary English vocabulary. Solo is more modern than alone in this context, and sounds more adventurous and positive.
And Sarah's phrase, it's not that big of a deal, is quintessentially native speaker. We could say it's not very important or it's not very difficult, but not that big of a deal is the conversational choice every time.
Let me throw you a curveball, Johnny. What if I told you I'm thinking about quitting my job and starting my own business?
Wait, what? Are you serious right now? I mean, that's huge. What kind of business?
I'm totally serious. I've been wanting to start an online tutoring business for English learners. I feel like there's such a need for authentic, conversation-based learning, and I'm passionate about it.
Wow, Sarah, that's incredible. I mean, it's definitely risky, but if you're passionate about it, you should go for it. When were you thinking of making the jump?
Well, I'm trying to be smart about it. I want to save up at least 6 months of expenses first, and maybe start building the business on the side while I'm still working. That way, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket.
That's really sensible. Have you talked to anyone else about this? Like, what does your family think?
My parents are a bit skeptical, which I totally get. They're from a generation where job security was everything. But my friends have been super supportive. They keep saying life's too short to not pursue your dreams. And honestly, they're right.
Okay, this conversation section is packed with incredible learning opportunities. Let's dissect it.
First, I used throw you a curveball, which is a baseball idiom meaning to surprise someone with unexpected information. Sports idioms are everywhere in American English.
And my response was, wait, what? This is an extremely common native speaker reaction to shocking news. It's informal, shows genuine surprise, and is perfectly acceptable in casual settings.
I said, I'm totally serious, using totally as an intensifier. Young native speakers especially use intensifiers like totally, absolutely, completely, and definitely in conversation.
The phrase making the jump is another perfect example of idiomatic English. It means taking a big risk or making a significant change. We could also say taking the plunge or taking the leap.
And look at this idiom I used, not putting all my eggs in one basket. This means not risking everything on a single plan. These colorful expressions make English come alive.
Sarah also said, which I totally get, which is short for which I totally understand. Native speakers constantly, we say, I get it instead of I understand, got it instead of I have understood, and make sense instead of that is logical.
Let's shift gears to another typical lunch conversation. Johnny, I've been meaning to ask you, how do you stay motivated with your fitness routine? I keep starting and stopping, and it's driving me crazy.
Oh man, I struggle with that too. The thing that works for me is having a workout buddy. When I know someone's counting on me to show up, I'm way less likely to bail.
That's actually a great idea. I always try to go alone, and then I talk myself out of it. Like this morning, I set my alarm for 6 a.m. to go running, and when it went off, I just hit snooze and told myself I'd go after work instead.
And then you didn't go after work either, right?
Exactly. How did you know?
Because that's literally everyone's pattern. We all do it. The key is to just remove the decision-making from the equation. I lay out my gym clothes the night before, I pack my bag, and I make it so that not going to the gym is actually harder than going.
That's actually brilliant. It's like you're setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. And another thing I do is I don't focus on being perfect. If I miss a day, I don't beat myself up about it. I just make sure I go the next day. Progress over perfection, you know?
Let's pause here because Johnny just dropped some serious wisdom, and there's fantastic language to learn.
I used I've been meaning to ask you, which is perfect for bringing up a topic you've thought about before but haven't discussed yet. It's more conversational than I want to ask you.
And I said, it's driving me crazy, which is an idiom for something frustrating or annoying you intensely. We also say, it's killing me, it's eating at me, or it's bugging me.
The phrase way less likely uses way as an intensifier instead of much or very. Younger native speakers especially use way all the time. Way better, way worse, way more expensive.
When I said I talk myself out of it, that's a reflexive phrasal verb, meaning to convince yourself not to do something. The opposite is talk myself into it.
And notice I said literally everyone's pattern. In modern English, especially among younger speakers, literally is used for emphasis even when we're not being literal. It's controversial among grammar purists, but it's absolutely how people talk.
The phrase remove the decision-making from the equation is sophisticated but natural. We use mathematical and scientific metaphors in everyday English all the time.
Okay, let's do one more lunch break scenario. Sarah, random question. If you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would you choose?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Let me think. Okay, definitely Maya Angelou, because her poetry just speaks to my soul. Then probably Anthony Bourdain, because I feel like he'd have the most incredible stories about food and travel. And third, Maybe my grandmother, who passed away when I was young. I'd love to have an adult conversation with her.
Wow, those are really thoughtful choices. I love how you mixed historical figures with someone's personal.
Thanks. What about you?
Man, that's hard. I think I'd go with Bruce Lee because his philosophy about life and martial arts fascinates me. Then maybe Shakespeare, just to confirm whether he actually wrote all those plays or if it was someone else.
Oh, you're one of those conspiracy theory people.
Hey, I'm just saying it's suspicious. And my third choice would be my future self from 20 years in the future. I'd want to know if I made the right decisions.
Okay, that's actually a really cool answer. I wish I'd thought of that.
This type of hypothetical conversation is perfect for language learning. Let's analyze it.
First, these if you could questions are staple lunch break conversation topics. They're fun, low pressure, and reveal a lot about someone's personality and interests.
Sarah said, speaks to my soul, which is a beautiful metaphorical expression meaning something resonates deeply with you emotionally.
And notice the phrase, I feel like, before expressing an opinion. Native speakers use this constantly to soften statements and sound less absolute. We say, I feel like, I think, it seems like, I guess, rather than making direct assertions.
When I said, man, that's hard, I was using man as an interjection. It's casual and expressive. Other similar interjections are wow, geez, dude, oh boy, and yikes.
Sarah said, just to confirm, which shows purpose. We use just to frequently, just to make sure, just to check, just to see. It softens the intention and sounds more casual.
And Sarah's response, you're one of those people, is a playful way to categorize someone. It's gently teasing, but not mean. The tone is important here. This kind of teasing strengthens friendships in English-speaking cultures.
The phrase, I wish I'd thought of that, uses the past perfect after wish to express regret about something that didn't happen. This is advanced grammar, but essential for fluent conversation.
Now here's the secret sauce that ties everything together. These lunch break conversations we've been having, they're not scripted like a textbook. They're meandering, they change topics, they include humor, they're vulnerable, they're real.
And that's exactly why the lunch break method is so powerful for learning English. When you practice English in authentic situations, like casual conversations over food, your brain encodes the language differently than when you're just memorizing vocabulary lists.
Think about it this way. When you're having a real conversation, you're not just learning words, you're learning rhythm, tone, cultural context, appropriate responses, body language, and emotional nuance all at once.
Plus, conversations about everyday topics, weekends, food, work, plans, dreams, these are the topics you'll actually discuss when you use English in real life. You need to be comfortable with this kind of discourse.
And here's another secret. Native speakers don't use perfect grammar all the time. We start sentences and don't finish them, we interrupt ourselves, we use fragments, we break rules constantly because communication is about connection, not perfection.
During your lunch breaks, whether at work, at school, or at home, you can practice this method. Watch English videos, have conversations with friends learning English, talk to yourself in English while you eat, or even imagine conversations you might have.
The key is consistency. 15 or 20 minutes a day during lunch, 5 days a week, adds up to more than 80 hours a year of English practice. That's massive.
And because you're relaxed during lunch breaks, you're eating, you're taking a break from work or studies, your brain is actually more receptive to learning. The pressure is off, which paradoxically makes learning more effective.
Let me share a quick personal story. When I was learning Spanish, I struggled for years with traditional methods. But then I started having lunch with a Spanish-speaking colleague twice a week. We'd eat together and just chat about normal stuff, family, hobbies, current events. Within 6 months, my Spanish improved more than it had in the previous 2 years of formal study.
That's the power of authentic conversation. Your brain was learning the language as a communication tool, not as an academic subject.
Exactly. And you can replicate this with English. Find conversation partners, join online language exchange communities, participate in English lunch break meetups, or even create your own lunch break English club.
Another tip is record yourself having practice conversations. Make lunch, sit down, and talk about your day in English. Record it on your phone, then listen back. You'll notice patterns in your speech, hear your progress, and identify areas to improve.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. In our lunch break conversations today, if we were non-native speakers, we might have made errors, but the conversation would still work. Communication is more important than perfection.
You know what else is great about the lunch break method? It's sustainable. You're not adding extra time to your schedule. You're already eating lunch anyway. You're just transforming that time into a learning opportunity.
And it's enjoyable. Unlike sitting with a grammar book or doing vocabulary drills, having conversations, even practice conversations, is inherently more engaging and fun.
Here's a challenge for our viewers. Starting tomorrow, dedicate your lunch break to English. Watch this video again during lunch and shadow our conversation. Repeat our phrases, mimic our intonation, and absorb the rhythm of natural speech.
Then, the next day, try having a conversation with someone in English, even if it's just a 5-minute chat. The day after that, watch an English TV show or YouTube video during lunch. Vary your practice, but keep the lunch break commitment.
Within a month, you'll notice a difference. Your confidence will grow, your vocabulary will expand, and English will start feeling less like a foreign language and more like a skill you actually possess.
So, to wrap this up, the lunch break secret to learning English fast is really about 3 things: authentic conversation practice, consistency in a relaxed setting, and focusing on communication over perfection.
We've shown you real examples today of how native speakers talk during lunch breaks. We've broken down idioms, phrasal verbs, conversational structures, cultural nuances, and the natural flow of English dialogue.
Remember, English fluency isn't about knowing every grammar rule or every vocabulary word. It's about being able to connect with people, express yourself clearly, and understand the language as it's actually used in daily life.
And the beautiful thing is, you can start right now, today, during your very next lunch break.
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to Native Speakers. We create content designed to teach you real English the way it's actually spoken, not the way it's written in textbooks.
Hit that notification bell so you never miss a lesson. We're releasing new videos every week covering everything from workplace conversations to dating in English, from ordering at restaurants to negotiating a raise.
And leave us a comment. Tell us about your English learning journey. What challenges are you facing? What topics would you like us to cover? We read every single comment, and we love hearing from our community.
Also, try the lunch break challenge we mentioned and let us know how it goes. Share your progress with us. We're here to support you every step of the way.
Learning English doesn't have to be overwhelming or time-consuming. With the lunch break method, you're making small, consistent investments in yourself that will pay huge dividends over time.
So grab your lunch tomorrow, put on one of our videos, and start your English transformation. You've got this.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Sarah.
And we'll see you in the next lesson on Native Speakers. Keep practicing, keep improving, and remember, every conversation is a chance to get better.